Well, hey fans, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Spoilers, and today we're talking spoilers for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now I know I was supposed to do this before Stranger Things, but I got the screeners for Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 1, so I finished that before I finished Kenobi, so I did that one first, but now we're actually talking Obi-Wan Kenobi. Overall, I really did enjoy the show. I believe I gave it a good 4 out of 5 over on the website. You can go over there and check out the full review. And I enjoyed the story being told. First, they actually start with the retelling of what happened in the prequels with Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I really enjoyed that. It really gets you in the mood to watch this show. Then it has the opening scene on Coruscant where you have the Jedi younglings training with their master, and the doors open all of a sudden, and then the stormtroopers are shooting, and so their Jedi master starts saving their lives. She's using her lightsaber, and of course the lightsaber play is decent, but I believe it's Master Minas Velti. So she brings them to the hallway and they're running. You see all the Jedi fighting the stormtroopers throughout the temple, and eventually Minas Velti dies. She gets shot by a blaster, and then the students are like, what do we do now? And they're like, we run. And you hear Palpatine in the background saying, execute Order 66. I thought that was a thoroughly fantastic opening. That's how you open the show. And then we get to Obi-Wan, who's working as a butcher for this Sandwell meat shop. And he's just, watching over Luke, cutting meat, and, living the simple life. He has yet to commune with Qui-Gon Jinn. He's kind of cut himself off from the Force, and that's why, he doesn't really get to see him or talk to him. Owen Lars and Beru, White Sun Lars, are there, played by the original actors, of course. You have Joel Edgerton and Bonnie Piesse, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. But they do well in the roles. They don't have large parts, but the point is that they were already cast in these roles in the prequel trilogy, so why not bring them back? But in the first few episodes, the main character is not actually Obi-Wan. I would say is Reva Sevander. She is an Inquisitor, Black Inquisitor, played by Moses Ingram, and I really like this character. I don't like everything about this character, but I really did like this character. She's hot-headed, she's rash, she has an agenda of her own that is hidden from everybody else. She's really good with the lightsaber. She's powerful, and so they're hunting. The Inquisitors show up on Tatooine hunting a Jedi that they heard rumors was there, and the viewers are like, "Oh snap! What has Obi-Wan done?" But it turns out there's another Jedi there, Nari. Nari is the Jedi played by Benny Safdie. And so he escapes, and the Grand Inquisitor has some words with Reva. Eventually Nari finds Obi-Wan and says, General, we need your help. There are other Jedi lost out there. And Obi-Wan tells him, look, we lost. Take that lightsaber, bury it, go on and live a normal life. That's the best thing you can do right now. And so eventually, Nari gets captured and killed, and he's hung up in the square to prove a point, and Obi-Wan gets a message from Bail Organa, once again played by Jimmy Smits, because young Princess Leia was kidnapped, and he wants Obi-Wan to go find her. Now, starting with young Princess Leia, played by Vivien Lyra Blair. I liked her character. I love that we get to see that Obi-Wan had some contact with young Princess Leia before A New Hope, and it wasn't really necessary, but it was nice that they put that in there. Now, my assumption was that young Princess Leia was going to be in 2 episodes max. This was going to be the inciting incident that gets him off the planet. Obi-Wan was going to go find young Princess Leia and return her to Bail, and that him doing that was going to put him in the crosshairs of Vader and the Inquisitors, because they were going to know he's out here somewhere. We have his trail. But young Princess Leia is in the entire show. Big mistake. Just big mistake. Thoroughly thought she overstayed her welcome, even though I like her character. It would have been fine. That scene at the end where he meets her again. I think that would have been fine, and that's when he could have given her the little blaster holster and everything. But her being throughout the entire show where she gets kidnapped multiple times, I really didn't care for her. I didn't care for her, and I don't really know if I care to see her character again. It's going to be hard to do, especially if they don't do it fast, because that little girl's going to get older and older, and then you're going to be like, alright, she looks nothing like Carrie Fisher. But with the deepfake technology and how good it's getting, they can easily re-speech Carrie Fisher's voice and deepfake her face into small roles moving forward. I think that's what they should do with the original characters. That's what I think they should do in Solo 2, and people just accept it. They're not making a Solo 2, but like if he were to ever come back in like the Lando show or some other show, I think that's what should happen. Moving back to Reva Sevander, we later find out that she knew Anakin Skywalker was Vader because as a youngling she saw him enter the temple and kill her friends, and then he stabs her. She survives getting stabbed by Vader as a child. Okay, you put that in there, that's fine. Even though lightsabers can melt metal doors, getting stabbed by one should really destroy your insides if you're not getting medical help immediately. And even then, you should probably still die. Like getting a limb cut off, understandable. Stabbed in the gut, unless you got like 2 stomachs. You guys got that joke. It shouldn't work. Now, Reva got stabbed as a kid. Reva stabs the Grand Inquisitor through the stomach. They both survive. And guess what? When Reva fights Vader again, which is a decent lightsaber duel, I like at the end, where Vader's basically toying with her. He's using the Force most of the time, just like swiping and dodging all her stuff, holding her back with the Force. Stops her lightsaber as she's spinning it. And I'll get back into Vader and his use of the Force later, and like he snatches it from her, breaks it in half, and like throws it the other half. He's like, "Come on, let's fight. Let's see what you got." She has nothing on him, and that was a perfect scene to show. No matter how much she tried, Vader's just ridiculously strong, But of course, he stabs her again, and she survives again. It is like spitting in the face of Qui-Gon Jinn, because Qui-Gon Jinn got stabbed in the gut and died almost immediately. This girl got stabbed twice in the stomach and has survived. Now, they could easily retcon this, and they definitely need to retcon this later on to show although she's humanoid, she comes from an alien race whose like abdomen is like hollow or something, and her organs are actually along her side. It should be something like that. Or like she's from a race that actually heals super fast, so that's why she survived being stabbed by a lightsaber twice. They need to do something to retcon that. To Vader, I liked him in the series. He's portrayed very well. He's portrayed very powerful, as he should be. They have Hayden Christensen back in the role, and he's in the suit as well, which you didn't need to do. You really didn't need to do, but I'm glad they did it. It's nice. It brings back the prequel fans, and you really feel that it's just because the fact that you know it is Hayden in the suit, it makes the whole thing just feel more enjoyable. I don't know why. But they do have one flashback scene that is set before Attack of the Clones, and it's with him and Obi-Wan training, and it shows how reckless and rash Anakin can be. But they don't de-age either one of them. You can get away with it with Obi-Wan, but with Anakin, I mean, Hayden Christensen looks good for like a 40-year-old, and it's fine, but he's supposed to be like 19 or something in this scene. You could have just put a slight filter over it, and people have done it online for free, and it would have made him look like so much younger, and they could have got away with that. Now, it is on Disney Plus. They can go back and redo this whenever they want. That's the point of having a streaming service. And I'm not saying it took me out of the scene or anything, but it was almost like, why didn't you do it? Especially when it wouldn't have cost you any money to do it. And if you wanted to spend a little money on it, it would have looked a lot better. It's just what is going on with Lucasfilm and Disney and their cheap budgets. Because there are some parts in the show that feel truly just cinematic on a grand scale. You're like, oh, that looks great. Then other times you're like, yeah, this is definitely a TV show. They're definitely on the volume. There's not a lot of space to really work or move around here. I just truly didn't understand it. And so, yeah, Vader's really powerful. One of the things we get to see him do with the Force is he stops a ship as it is trying to take off. He snatches it and pulls it down and like rips out pieces of it. And of course, this was a trap. Obi-Wan and O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s character, they were all on another ship, and they took off right after Vader snatched on the one ship. So that does prove, even though Vader's like super powerful, you kind of have to recharge when you're using the Force like that. So he pulled that one ship down. He can't do it back to back. He needs to, gather himself before he can do something like that again. And I also really enjoyed that. Like, even if you have the subtitles on, he's definitely strained in having used that much of his energy doing that. He, of course, once again, has a fight with Obi-Wan, and so it is not as good as the Episode 3 fight. Unfortunately, I wanted a fight that was close to that or on par with that at least. It's not that good. It's not that good. It is better than the episode 4 fight. So it was like a good middle ground. You got this amazing fight in episode 3. You got this decent fight in Obi-Wan. And you got this old men fighting in episode 4. So they fight on this like rock planet with like stalagmites everywhere. And, you know, they're cutting them and they're throwing like rocks at each other using the Force, using lightsaber. And it's pretty decent. And the issue that I found with this fight is that it doesn't really sound epic. It doesn't sound memorable. There are people who have recut this fight online with Duel of the Fates and the Battle of Heroes, like all the old themes, and it becomes immediately like a better fight. It becomes a more amazing fight. And also they were cutting away from the fight to Reva looking for young Luke. And that's not, it's not wise to do that. That's not something that George Lucas would have done. Like in episode 3, when he cut away from the fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan, he cut to another fight with Yoda and Palpatine. Like, that's how you're supposed to do something like that. So I'm just wondering why they made that kind of decision. But like I said, the fight was good. Actually, rewinding back, the first time they actually confront each other, this is also a great Vader scene where he's like trying to get Obi-Wan to come out, and he like chokes this lady, like grabs this dude, he's just walking and starts dragging him in the sand, grabs this lady's kid, breaks the kid's neck. It's like, whoa, now this is the Vader I want to see more of. He's so dark. And like he finally catches Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan's just like running away. That part was really funny. And like, so he like catches Obi-Wan at one point, like knocks over this chemicals that burns the ground, and starts dragging Obi-Wan through the fire. And he's like, now you will suffer. That's a great scene to parallel, you know, him burning in the previous. But it didn't really hit hard because he only burned like half of Obi-Wan's arm. And I think the suffering should have been like a little bit more than that. And you got Indira Varma's character comes and she shoots and saves Obi-Wan's life. Like, those are scenes that felt very TV. But there's just so much to talk about in this show. I don't know, you know, I put a lot of it in my reviews. Like I mentioned, the music isn't that great. And the music, like, it's not just that final battle between Obi-Wan and Vader where the music's not great. Throughout the entire show, the music is lacking. They don't have a lot of John Williams scores. They have, like, a lot of new stuff that's unnecessary. We want to hear the old stuff. We want to hear the good stuff. And you can sprinkle in a little bit of new stuff. You don't sprinkle in a little bit of the good stuff, if you know what I'm saying. More of the Inquisitors. Okay, this show is basically about Obi-Wan running from Vader and the Inquisitors. They got Kang, who's I consider like a bigger actor, to play fifth brother. And there's another Inquisitor lady, I can't remember which one she is. But, like, they are barely in the show. And I'm like, you have these great actors. You have the Inquisitors who wield, like, these spinning lightsabers, and you're not using them? You're not using them to the best of your ability? You gave all that money to Kang for no reason? Like, I don't understand. Like, this is why, in my personal opinion, Obi-Wan should have stayed a movie. It should have stayed a theatrical experience, and you could have gave it a big budget, and it would have easily made $1 billion. It would have easily made $1 billion, and I'm pretty sure somebody out there will recut this show into like a just under 2-hour movie and rescore it, and I bet people will love it online. Like, it could have been a great movie, and like Kathleen Kennedy's like, oh well, you know, Solo failed, which it didn't really fail. It just didn't. It's like the most underperforming Star Wars movie of all time, but I wouldn't call it a failure. It was enjoyable. But you're supposed to take that and be like, oh, this didn't do so well. Let's try and make this next movie better. Not let's switch everything to Disney Plus. And it's really sad what was taken from us. We could have gotten a great Obi-Wan Kenobi Star Wars story, but they took that away from us. And it's really sad. But, you know, overall, like I said, I really enjoyed the show. I enjoyed the show. I am happy for us to get a season 2. And, you know, before I was like, you know, we get a season 2. Vader shouldn't be in the show anymore, and we don't want to see any more Vader. But you know what? At this point, it's like they're messing with canon a little bit anyway. And he did also have that line, you know, Vader's now more machine than man. I think they should probably have one more fight. They should have one more fight where he should hack up Vader a little bit more and realize that, oh, he's barely even a man. He's a lot of machine. Like, that would be great. Like, why can't they have more interactions? Like, and calls him Doth and say, you killed my friend. Like, they can play that up more. They can play that up more, definitely. I don't think it needs to go long. Like, max 5 seasons, minimum 3 seasons. Obi-Wan Kenobi and his adventures throughout the galaxy. I think you kind of only bring in Hayden Christensen for flashbacks. You used deepfake and de-aging in the second season with young Ahsoka to the Clone Wars. Have those in there. Bring in some brand new villain from like the Star Wars legends that Obi-Wan can face. You bring in Qui-Gon Jinn, doing some training with him throughout that entire second season. And then you have a final rematch in the third season with Vader, where like Obi-Wan wins again, and then that's how you lead into episode 4, and that's that. Those are my thoughts on that. That's how I feel at this point about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Like, I'm happy to get more. I'm a Star Wars fan. Feed me more. If you can come with a good story for a second season, third season, whatever, that doesn't break canon, I'm fine with that. No more people being stabbed in the stomach and surviving, though, because that's ridiculous. And back to Reva. Like I said, I like her. She doesn't die, as far as we know. I would like to see her show up more in Star Wars, somehow, some way. This character needs to be seen again. Uh, if she survived all the way until, like, I don't need her to be a Jedi, but she can be like a Force user with some kind of lightsaber. But if she survives all the way until the time with Rey, they get an older actress to play her, that's fine by me. I just, I want to see more of her. See what Moses Ingram can do. Give the girl some better writing. She's a star, and you guys didn't treat her as such. They did fine. It's fine, but I wanted more. I don't want to go on like a rant of hating this show, because I didn't hate it. But yes, it could have been better, and there's nothing wrong with telling them, hey, come on, guys, you can do better than this. I do feel like this is a win for the prequel trilogy fans. It's a nice bridge with the original trilogy. And I don't know if I can say this, but I do want to see more. And you got Liam Neeson. He does appear as Qui-Gon Jinn, but at the very end, he appears, and I think that was perfect. We don't need him in too much of the series. Obi-Wan finally let go, and he is connected to the Force again. So seeing Qui-Gon Jinn at that moment was great, and that I think is a great lead-in for the season 2. We finally got the hello there. So if we got a season 2, Obi-Wan Kenobi adventures, hello there everywhere, I'll be happy. And another thing, back to Darth Vader. I think they got they got the Obi-Wan series, you got the Ahsoka series. We need a Darth Vader series and or movie, just about him hunting Jedi, following the Emperor. We can show like why they're still good at him, because this show doesn't really show that there's still some good left in him. Like, the only good thing that Vader does in this series is tell Obi-Wan, like, I'm not your failure. He allows for Obi-Wan to let go of that grief. Instead of saying, Obi-Wan, you did this to me. Like, he at one point says, I am what you made me. But he allows him to let it go by saying, look, I'm not your failure. I did this. This is me. So that is a little bit of good that's left in him at this point. But later we know there's more when he battles his son. But that is it for me, guys. Remember, you can view this spoiler review on YouTube and the blog, flipfrogllc.com/flixfrog. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. And please, pretty please, everybody, hey, come here, listen. Make sure that you subscribe. Yes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Facebook page, everything. Make sure you like, comment, and share. We are currently running a competition through the end of July where if you do all that, you could win a 4K copy of Edge of Tomorrow. So make like a frog and jump on that. My next Let's Talk Spoilers will probably be Stranger Things 4 Volume 2. It was a great finale. Can't wait for Season 5. So yeah, I'll get that up ASAP on the go. But until next time, I'll be seeing you.